My name is Sangeeta Luthra, and today is August 2nd, 2015. I was living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I grew up in Pittsburgh, and I was 18. I was about to start college in the fall. The day that Blue Star happened, I don't remember if it was a Saturday or Sunday here in the States, but I just remember soon after my family and I going to our local Gurdwara, and there was, of course, a lot of people gathered there, and just a lot of shock, and people just wanted to be together and try to understand what was going on. And so actually when the assassination of Indira Gandhi happened, I was in college, and I remember being in my dorm downstairs where the TV room was and hearing the news and just also being in shock. And at that point, because so much had already happened, really thinking about my family, because I had a lot of family, both sets of my grandparents. Most of my family was in India at the time, and most of them were outside of Punjab, and so just really being concerned. And then we started getting a little bit of news about what was happening. In November, I think, is when the riots in Delhi started happening, and it was just a very scary time. I mean, both my sets of my grandparents barely survived. Both of them had mobs in front of their homes, ready to burn down the houses, and just really, it was luck and neighbors who were willing to come to their aid, non-Sikh neighbors who came to their aid and told people that no one was there or just go away, that really saved them and their homes and their lives. And so my grandfather, my Dadaji, was in Ghaziabad, which is outside of Delhi. And my dad's side of the family is like a mixed family, so I don't know how much you know about that, but in Punjab, it wasn't uncommon for Hindus to make their firstborn son a Sikh. So my great-grandfather was the firstborn son who was a Sikh, but all the other sons were not. They weren't Kesadari Sikhs, but they were still raised in the tradition. So my dad is the eldest, so he was the turbaned Sikh, but his brothers were living in India and with my Dadaji, and they were all cut. So they were the ones that basically stood outside and had to protect the house and my grandfather. On my mom's side of the family, they're all traditional Sikhs, and in their case, they were in Indore, which is in Madhya Pradesh, and they actually were alone at the time in the home. Their son my Mamaji had gone to Bombay, where luckily there weren't riots in Bombay, which was not surprising, but their Sindhi neighbors came, and they basically told them to turn off all the lights and hide in the bathroom. And then a huge mob came, and they were about to burn down the house, and the neighbors said nobody's there and go away, and they managed to convince them to go away. It had a big impact. I mean, I had spent a year in India, a summer in India on a camp in 1981, and with my brother and a group of other people. So I kind of understood what was already happening in Punjab, around the conflict and, the kind of, what was building up to this in Punjab. But so I was already kind of very interested in history, and having spent a summer in Punjab, and especially at that age, I was 15 at that time, so I was really connecting with it for sure. But, it definitely shifted me into thinking about what does it mean, cultural identity, and the challenges of cultural identity when you migrate away, and even the challenges of cultural identity that the whole conflict of pre-84 and 84 and after 84 involved. It was all about, preserving culture or adapting, or people were really struggling about that all around the world. And so I think that it really did impact cultural identity. And among the diaspora, I think it was important, but I think even within India, it was really important. I think there's still a debate within the Sikh community about, what's the best way to protect and preserve your identity. And some people, thought that the Khalistan movement was the best way and others didn't. But what it was interesting for me was talking to my mamajis in Indore, in Madhya Pradesh, because they said, they were born and raised in Madhya Pradesh. My grandfather moved there in 1935 from Lahore. And he was given a job as a doctor by the British government to be for that region. So they were born there, and they always felt that this was their home. They never felt like outsiders. But after '84, that really changed for them. And they're very, having lived outside of Punjab, they were very comfortable dealing with people of other communities. But that did change them. My youngest Mamaji left India in 1985. He felt like there was no future for him. He was young. He had just gotten married, and he just was so disheartened by the riots and what happened, Especially because Sikhs, wherever they go, they build gurdwaras, they do service, they offer things to the local community, not just for themselves, but for everyone. And they felt really, really kind of betrayed by that, I think that it's interesting that since we just did the anniversary of 1984, and I've been reading a lot about Baba Surat Singh and I really hope that as Sikhs we really go back to a more kind of peaceful way of protesting and really go back to the roots of Guru Nanak Dev Ji and really think about, what does it mean to coexist with people of different traditions, and what's our role in that? That doesn't mean we should just lay back and let people run all over us. I don't believe in that either. But yeah, I think that's about it, really.